What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jarod, your girl Gabby, and we're back for episode 23.
Is this our thing now? Is this what we do?
Apparently. I feel like once you start the you have to continue it now.
To. I was surprised you didn't throw in a "don't get gassed" somewhere in there. I was kind of expecting it.
Cypher Don't Get Gassed is such a special thing. I don't know that you, I mean, yes, I used it a lot when he was on the show because it's a soundtrack about him. But, you know, we'll have to figure out what to drop that in, like, more creatively and carefully, like, as we go. But, you know, maybe I'll do that for you when you're, like, wilding out with one of your puns. I'll just be like, "Don't get gassed," and then we'll see how it resonates. But enough of that. How are you doing, Gabby? What's going on in those streets?
So I'm really hyped. It's our Jordan episode.
Oh, you see what we did there, folks?
That's right.
Wait, which one? It's backwards now, right? So I gotta do it this way.
But yeah, I mean, the kids would say it's the LeBron episode, but we all know how I feel about that. So, you know, with the NBA Finals coming up, I'm super hyped. I think it's going to be a great series. I really cannot wait.
Yep.
Jimmy Butler, please don't let me down. That's all I'm going to say on that. Do you have thoughts, Jarod?
Well, listen, for my extensive thoughts on the Heat Lakers Finals, tune in to 7 Footers Podcast. We dropped a new podcast where we break down the NBA Finals. You can also find me on True Hoop, where we talk about this at length. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an exciting series. You know, are the Lakers a better team, talent? I mean, look, they have the two best players in the series, in LeBron and Anthony Davis. That's fact. I mean, no denying that. But there's something about this Heat team and their connectivity and their togetherness. Now, you can be connected and together you want. It's still LeBron James and Anthony Davis, so that might not mean anything. But I do think it will, and I think this is going to be a long series. I think it's going 7. I have a feeling. So that's what I'll say about that.
I hope it goes to Game 7. I mean, basketball playoffs are, and we've, I think, probably talked about this, at least offline, you and I have talked about this. What I love about the NBA playoffs is that it is a different game than the regular season.
100%.
In every single way. I mean, especially now that you don't have the influence of home court advantage. There's no fans that could adjust playing styles. I think that was something that was really interesting about this bubble situation in general, is you see who really is playing on ability instead of on the added bit of hype. So it's been really exciting for me. I hope it goes to Game 7. I feel like we're in a Buffalo Wild Wings commercial here, wishing for as much great basketball as possible. I'm sad it's coming to an end soon, but
yeah,
let's see how it goes. I can't wait to ride the wave.
That's right. Game 1 coming up. Yeah, looking forward to that. But Gabby, you know, we are, of course, a sneaker, fashion, and things. I was going to say and shit because that's in the title, but and things show. So there's a show that is out on Netflix right now called Sneakerheads. Seems like something we should be interested in. You brought this to my attention a couple of months ago, actually, that, you know, this was coming out on Netflix. I have not watched the first episode yet, but you have, and I'm based on some of your early thoughts, I may not even watch the first episode. Tell me, what is going on with Sneakerheads?
I swear there are things that I like in this world, that I have nice things to say. I know I keep it 100 all the time, sometimes 1,000, which for better or for worse, you're welcome, and I'm sorry to everybody. I had like a nice glass of wine poured. I was so ready for this. I was like living my little hypebeast life. I was very excited. And then I put it on. I haven't finished the first episode, I'll put it that way. I finished the wine before I finished episode 1. It leaves a lot to be desired. I think that the idea is great, and shouts to Complex and to Netflix for bringing to light a culture that has been around for a while. I'm curious why the timing now, because the culture has changed so much, and even the opening scene takes a nod to the original culture where people would stand on line. But then, you know, as we talked about with Jason last week, people are dapping people up to get in front of the line, to get that extra pair. The culture isn't as much like that, especially now in COVID times.
Yep.
But I think they're trying to do too many things, right?
Yep.
It's trying to be funny, but it's not quite funny enough. And it's trying to target sneakerheads, but it's not sneakerheady enough. So you're losing the people that are coming there for comedy, because it's not as mainstream funny as I would have hoped. And you're losing the sneakerheads because you're like, it's kind of like I almost wish like our girl Issa Rae was one of the writers, because in the beginning it was giving me a little bit insecure kind of vibe. That they're trying to be a little satirical.
Okay.
Keep it a little light and fresh. I just wish it was a little bit wittier. I'm not going to give up on it. I want to keep watching, but would love to know your guys' thoughts. Like if anyone's watched it, give us a shout. I've been talking about it with a few people, and I just, like I said, the culture has changed so much for me. I think, and we say this about our show too, is, you know, it's harder to grab people in the sneaker culture that don't know as much about it, which is why we want to talk to them and talk to people who don't necessarily have 600 pairs and know when every launch comes out, because we aim to educate. And I wish there was a little bit more of that kind of lens in the show, if that's the angle that they were trying to create. But for me, it's a little confusing of who the real target is, but I'm no quitter. So got more episodes to watch.
You know, what's interesting? I think Netflix and Complex coming out with this, and the timing is interesting, given that Quibi, the sort of quick bite TV platform, has a show called You Ain't Got These, and it's interesting because that is also a sneaker show, and it has a lot more star power in it. Lena Waithe is the host, so like, I mean, it just starts there. And I mean, she had Run On, Mello. I mean, it's just like, it just seems like what they did was the opposite. Like, all right, I'm going to dump a ton of money into something to get every big name we can and then push it that way. Although our girl Jazzy Allen Lord is on one of the episodes of You Ain't Got These. So, you know, it does also talk to journalists and people in the industry as well. Here's what I think is happening. I think content companies and platforms are trying to either recreate a moment that I think, not that's past, but that the people who would watch it and love it don't have the time and are probably not going to, right? Like in the sense that the people who started with sneaker culture and like grew through it, even in some of our conversations we've had with people who started it early, right? Like Tara, who got into the game early, Trey, different people who like now, even when we talk to them, they're kind of like, yeah, I don't really like get that many sneakers anymore. Like it's almost like, not that it was a thing, but like it was a thing. You know what I mean? Like, and now it's like, all right, yeah, I still rock sneakers. I still like the culture, but it isn't that same vibe. And I think that's what all these two shows are trying to, hey, remember when this was so dope? And it's like, yeah, that was a moment in time. I don't know if it in that same way is now, particularly with what we talk about all the time, which is the hype beast culture, bots and everything, which allows people who just have money who could figure it out to just buy everything, right? In a way that technology maybe, while, you know, it's always good when things advance, but there's also unintended consequences of technology, right? And I think one of the unintended consequences of technology is what we talk about all the time. You lose that community feel. Right? That thing that made it feel special is not there anymore because you don't got to wait online and camp out. None of that. I just get my little algorithm and whatever, and I get this, and this, and I'm good. So I think, but the shows are trying to be like, yeah, this was dope, but it's like, maybe not so much.
Yeah, I mean, and I love the Lena Waithe show in the sense that it's a flex and it does appeal to that aspiration, right? It's what I like to call the Real Housewives model, is that it's something that might never be in any of our reach, but that's kind of what makes it cool and interesting to hear the stories of people like Mello and those big stars and hypebeasts and collectors that have interesting stories that, you know, it's cool to hear because it's not part of our reality. The thing that misses the mark for me with Sneakerheads is, agreed, it does hit a lot of that more traditional sneakerhead culture, kind of pokes fun at it a little bit, which I'm curious the point of that, whether and who it's trying to target, right? So I think that a lot, to your point, like when we've talked to Tara, when we've talked to Jason, when we've talked to Black Try, even we've even talked to Chad and Adina, the way that they approach sneakers now, it's not that they're not into sneakers and they don't rock heat. They still rock all of that, but because the resale market has become so mainstream, and like I said, that's what I love about Another Hyphen Lane that Chad and Adina are doing, because they're coming at it from a different lens. And that's what we love about Dolly. It's about the community. It's about those player exclusives or those cool pairs that gives you a piece of what the culture truly was about. But now that everyone takes an L, that you can throw money at a culture, I mean, there's a reason why I haven't even gone for as many sneakers. Like, I'm like, let me save my money. And maybe I'll go for a pair that I missed a couple years ago because that's what I want in my collection. And we've all kind of, those of us, and us included, who have grown up a little bit with the culture, have also not necessarily aged out of it, but we've aged differently with it. And what the culture means now isn't necessarily copying every pair of J's as they come out. It could be getting the Supreme Oreos because you're a fan of Oreos. And you want to try to get that. Or like for me, the Pat McGrath Supreme lipstick collab, because I worked in the beauty industry for over 10 years. I like that it's different. Or Tara with her Cause collection. And, you know, I think the way that things have evolved, I mean, even Trey talking about Crocs and rocking those, and the episode that we did with him, you know, we're going to talk about with our guest this afternoon about slides, because I know she's waiting to talk about that, and we'll save that for later. But it's transformed in a way that when you do a generic show about the sneaker culture that kind of pokes fun at it, there's a reason that the people that have been in it for so long aren't on board. So I'm curious how it's going to be with those who may not know as much. Like, is it still going to be really popular? Are people going to watch past the first episode? I can't wait to see more people talk about it. Yeah.
And last thing before we wrap that is really, I mean, it's also how we consume television now, right? I mean, it's just much different. So we'll see. It remains to be seen. But you mentioned Crocs. So I know that Bad Bunny and Crocs have a collaboration. Now, look, as we always say on this show, you like what you like, rock what you like. I'm just going to say this up front from the jump. Crocs aren't for me. And I'll just leave it there.
I am glad that we're saying this on the record, because in case anything changes, we're going to do like a political like deep dive.
Fact check.
So 5 years from now, when Jarod is only rocking Crocs,
what?
He's going to be like, it's not my bag. I'm like, I endorse this statement. You know, brought to you by KNS. But I'm not a Crocs wearer. I've heard they're very comfortable. I have less hate than I used to for them. But yeah, I mean, I think that we've talked about this before. This is the year of the collaboration.
Year of the Crocs, apparently.
It's the year of the Dunks, the year of the Crocs. It's, at the end of the day, it's the year of the collab. That seems to be what is winning, right? And Crocs has had a few other collabs, but the Bad Bunny one is very interesting. Just because, to me, I wouldn't necessarily think Crocs are on brand for him either. But, you know, like, it's a brave new world out there, and those sold out like this. CNN is covering the Crocs collab with Bad Bunny. Nobody can get their hands on them.
I wonder about this. As you said, it's not really on brand for him. And I'm not calling anybody out, but, you know, wrestling fans, and shout out to Enzo, who was on our show a few weeks back. There used to be a wrestling character for WWF by the name of Ted DiBiase. His moniker was the $1 Million Man. And his theme song was Everybody's Got a Price. I do wonder, right? Like, how much of it is just like, look, we're going to give you X amount of money to do this collab, right? Like, and how many people, you know, sell out just for the dollars? I'm not saying Bad Bunny in particular. I'm just making a broad statement about, like, how much money does a company have to put in your face before you're like, I don't care if I never rock it. I'm taking the cash.
Right. And also, like, is there a way that if the money is right, can I make it be something that makes sense for me, right? How much creative license do you have and creative freedom do you have? Do you just get to pick out a colorway? Do you get to pick out materials? Do you get to adjust the style? I mean, I would love to see Skechers come to the table.
That's your jam. That's your jam.
You know, Mama and Papa Rosenthal will be all over that. They're going to be like, I don't understand why they sold out so quickly, Gab.
Mama Rosenthal would be very upset if she did get her hands on some Skechers.
Can you imagine a Skechers, Ben & Jerry's, or Haagen? Actually, no, we're going to go Haagen-Dazs.
Haagen-Dazs for them.
Yeah, we're going to go a Haagen-Dazs Skechers collaboration.
Yo, I think we should, another great idea. And it's perfect for that market, too. All right, yo, Skechers and Haagen-Dazs. If we see that come out, we know where it's from. You heard it here first, people. Make sure we get our IP on that. But before we wrap, I want to shout out Jordan Brand. They're doing something really cool. Starting October 7th, they're debuting a brand new series called Jordan Real Talk. And this is all about issues that are facing the Black community. And it's not just conversations about the issues, right? It's conversations that are going to drive change and actual actionable results, right? So we talk about this all the time. There's so many things going on and people never know, well, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? It's enough to talk about it, but we always say, don't just talk, be about it.
Be about it.
So this series is going to give people actual concrete steps about what they can do. It's going to be hosted by social commentator, political pundit, Angela Rye, who's really, really wonderful and has her pulse on really what's going on in the Black community, but also understands the politics. And it'll feature Jordan Brand family members as well as people in the world of sports entertainment. The first guests will be Chris Paul, shout out to the Oklahoma City Thunder, Jordan Brand family member, and Baratunde Thurman, who is a writer and an activist. Thurston, excuse me. And episode 1 is October 17th. I'm really excited about this. I think, look, it's easy to get like cynical about companies, you know, putting out slogans and saying, all right, we're doing this, blah, 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 whatever. But Jordan Brand's really kind of stepping up to the plate, not only with their dollars, they're putting money behind this stuff, but I love this platform that they're having and this way in which to engage the community in economic and social justice reform. I think it's fantastic. It starts October 7th, as I said. It's going to be on the Jordan Brand YouTube page, so subscribe to that, on their Instagram channel as well. And I'm excited for it. It's going to cover stuff like voting literacy, voter suppression, allyship. Like, again, and what I love about that is it's for everybody, right? If you think you're an ally to the cause, well, how do I? Or maybe I want to be an ally, right? If you are a non-Black person, how do I be an ally? And as a Black person, how do I work with someone who wants to be an ally, right? Again, actual, concrete, tangible steps to make things happen.
I love that. And especially because, you know, this is what we talk about every week, that the community is part of the culture. So I'm glad to see that, you know, to your point, Jordan Brand is not just talking about it, they're being about it and helping to educate, helping to promote the message. I mean, it's an election year and there's a lot of crazy stuff that's been happening in the country that has been brought to light this year. These are not new issues, but it's the first time that it's been talked about this consistently, which hopefully is a pathway for progress.
Absolutely.
So shouts to Jordan Brand for that.
No doubt. Shouts to the OG Michael Jordan and Jordan Brand president Craig Williams for sort of like being the leaders and visionaries of the brand, and, you know, the whole team over there for really making something like this come to light. But guys, stay tuned because we're going to be back with our special guest. We'll see you in a few. Hey. What's up, guys? We are back, and Gabby, we're not alone. We are joined by sneaker connoisseur, a woman of the culture. She works for Yellowbrick, which of course is responsible for the sneaker school. Her government name is Tamika Hall, but y'all out here in these streets might know her as Lady Blogga. What's up, Tamika? How are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. We're excited to have you on. I know Gabby had you on one of the IG Lives a month or so ago. We wanted to get you on the full show to really, like, you know, tap into some things because you've had quite a career and you've seen a lot of things in and out of the business, as we talked about off air. Won't tell you guys about that. But really, walk us through sort of your distinction between a sneaker connoisseur and a sneaker enthusiast.
So, I, by far, am not a sneakerhead. I like to buy sneakers. I like what I like, but I'm also not chasing a release or kind of collecting the same type of shoe. If I see something that I like, I'm going to buy it. So when I say sneaker connoisseur, I like to buy sneakers, but not in like a sneakerhead way where I have to have all the ones and all the fours and, oh my God, I missed this release and now I'm paying 3 times the price because I don't have that one. Like I don't have that type of drive. I hate lines. That's the first thing. And the whole like app thing is very hard because rejection is so much. They're like, oh, you didn't get the shoe. And you're like, damn it.
Yep.
I don't have patience for that either. So I do have a sneaker plug. My other half, if I can't get something, I'm like, I want this shoe. And if, you know, I position my eyes just right, he'll make it happen. I don't like ask him. I'm not like, hey, can you buy me this shoe? I'm like, oh, these are cute. I like these. Or like sometimes I'll post shoes or a bag or whatever in stories. And we kind of do it to each other because he does the same thing. So if there's something that he wants and he puts it in stories, I'll be like, okay, I have to find that. like right now, he posted a pair of the Politic Adidas.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm trying to figure out where do I get that from? I do have a few Adidas folks I could probably ask, but I'm going to try to get it. And then if I can't get it, then obviously I'll turn to the plug. But
you'll reach out.
Yeah, I like to buy things I like.
It's relationship goals right there, too.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's
organic at first. Like, you know, I'm like, oh, he likes that. Oh, he likes that. He likes that. And then Christmas came and he was like, yo, you while watching all of these things. And I was like, yes.
Here's the interesting thing, though, right? And Gabby, you nodded in agreement with this. Y'all ladies know if you want to get your dude or your partner to get you something, y'all know exactly how to do to get him or her to get you that thing, right? You just cock your head a certain way, you bat your eyes a certain kind of way, right? Whatever it is, and it's like, all right, man, let me go ahead and...
I mean, that hasn't really worked for me yet, personally, but I'm taking notes over here.
Yeah, I can't do that part. I just be like, oh, these are cute. Like, I don't OD. Some people OD. They be like, let me cook you that.
No.
Do this. And no. We're not doing all of that. But yeah.
I love it.
Like, oh, I like these. These are cool. I would look cute in these. These match with my so-and-so.
Like, wouldn't those look so great on me? What do you think, right? Size 7.
So that's like the prompt. And then he'll be like, So if there's like a holiday coming, I could potentially be like, okay, that's probably coming, so don't buy that.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Yeah, relationship goals. Mm-hmm.
And I love how you both have your stories going, so you'll look at his too. Oh, he probably wants those. Cool. Let me go ahead and try to figure out. That's actually quite nice. I also love the fact that you treat your plugs well, right? It's like you mentioned. You have friends at Adidas, you have sneaker plugs, but it's like you don't always want to tap to like, touch them for it, right?
Yep.
Right. Like
that's how you burn a plug out.
100%. You can't be like, yo, and they'll be like, this again. And they'll be like, don't you have the app? Like, don't you? But I have a legit plug. Like he's like the sneaker plug. He's on Instagram. He's Sneakerheads Shed. And someone else shared his name with me because I was like, wait a minute, how did you get those? And she was like, oh, the plug. And then somebody was just talking about this the other day about why people like to hide their plug. Like nobody wants to tell you who the plug is. And so you're like, well, actually those people be like my plug. And then they're like, and you're like, who? And people are like, well, can you ask them or can you do? And it's like weird. It's kind of like when women, they have like the same bag or the same shirt and you're like, oh, that's nice. And they don't want to tell you like where it came from, what it is. Mad tight lip. And I'm like, why are we not sharing this information? Like, two people can't have, you know, like there's different colors, there's different stuff, like you can't share. And they'd be like,
I agree with you though. I'll send you a link to what I just got. Like the Katie hype, Jordan Brand's got to be sending me a kickback for the amount of pairs that I've sold to my friends that have now picked up a pair. Let me tell you, I had 4. We're up to 4. I think it's going. I should get a free pair or something, right?
Shouts to our good friends at Nike.
100%. I think we talked about that too. I was like, you being a woman in the sneaker industry and being the voice of sneakers, them baddies should be making sure that you definitely hit on days that Jordans that you want drop. No reason why you still trying to hit on an app and it's like, sorry, that has to be like the worst. Like my third sorry, I was like, no. Well,
that's what it is too. It's not the first time. Like I've really thick skin. I can handle a lot of rejection, but it's not only that you take L after L after L. It's that not only when you take an L, they let you know in 37 different ways. Like they sent a carrier pigeon the last time to tell me I took an L. It got there a week and a half later. I got an email. I got a phone call. I got a text. And I'm like, I get it. Not that into me, okay? Like I don't even, it's the point that I don't even want to try anymore. The app is like, no. Sorry, you don't got them.
The last one, you really want to try for this one, and you're like,
No, I mean, I that's what I love about Champs and Foot Locker is that, or platforms like eBay. That's where I get the best luck, honestly. Like people don't realize that, you know, I mean, I have like my computer going, my iPad going, my cell phone, you know, the other cell phone, got everything going on a different platform. But I don't know, it's tough.
Yeah. I don't have the patience.
No.
Shed, I'll be like, hey, can you get, what about these? And how about this? And he's a young kid and he has a very strong, like, entrepreneur spirit. So he's like, now he's into shipping. You don't have to meet him to pick up. So he's figured out that kind of thing. He just graduated from high school.
Oh, wow.
Real estate license. Like, he's doing a lot of different things. So, why not share? And I'm like, I know if people want to buy shoes.
And you're helping him grow, too, at the end of the day. I think that's the part that people don't realize. But I have to ask, so when it comes to your plugs, and this is more for our listeners out there that might not know as much about this world but have an interest in sneakers, what is a good time to hit up your plug? Like, I mean, it's never like, oh, it's coming out tomorrow. Can you get this? But is there an optimal time? I mean, what do you think?
So I would say usually if you have a consistent sneaker plug, they know what type of shoes you like. So if they know something's coming down the pike, they'll be like, yo, they'll send you the picture and they'll be like, do you want these? You trying to hit? Sometimes they do like pre-orders. I know he does a lot of pre-orders, like who wants what size, and he'll try to hit for everybody. But I feel like you have to give them like a 72-hour window.
Okay. Because
I guess depending upon how they are getting their shoes and what their bandwidth is, some people can only get like one pair, and you can't have 10 people trying to buy that one pair. So it really depends on the plug and what his connections are. So if he can get if he can get almost a full size run, maybe, because some can, then you're good. I say 72 hours is clutch, but anything 24 hours, you're definitely going to pay double the price. I mean, you're going to get a markup anyway, because you're getting it from the plug. You're not buying it direct. But I would say 24 hours or day of, you're almost shit out of luck, or you're going to be paying double. Like,
straight up. You know what's interesting? Because I think it's just so perfect. I love this idea, your position on being a connoisseur, right? Versus like chasing every single release that comes out. I mean, really, when you think about that, that's what a lot of people are, right? Like, a lot of people out there, like, don't chase every release for a number of reasons. A, don't got the money to chase every release, number one. Like, let's just start there. This stuff gets expensive. With the amount of collabs and different things that come out, you're going to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars every year on sneakers. That's crazy talk, right? Like, and so, but I like that, hey, I like this, I like that, but you have a lot of pairs of sneakers, but just different kinds, whatever works for you. And again, going through the plug and using that, it's a form of the resale market, right? But in this way, it's a little bit different than, say, StockX or Goat or whatever those, eBay and stuff like that, where people really go out there. We talked about a particular apex capitalist predator before we got on, right? People being like, oh, that shoe retail for $200? Nah, $550. And you're like, what, $550? I mean, that's crazy.
I'll give you a kidney before I'll give you $550 for those sneakers.
Like, come on, man, you wildin'.
And that's exactly why. I mean, unless it's something really that I can't get out, like I have to think 3 times before I even go to like either one of those people that you mentioned, only because we work with them sometimes.
Oh, but, yes, yeah.
If I need something, sure.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Shouts to them.
I try to give, the small, almost like a shop local kind of thing.
Of course.
For me, that's the motivation for doing that. Not that I don't want to give them my money, but also these kids are up and coming, and 9 times out of 10, their customer service, their timeline, their delivery, all of that is way better than these big brands that are trying to get everyone's money. So I'd rather support him and help him, and hopefully he'll grow to be like them, at some point, if that's what he wants to do. But yeah. And Absolutely. Now you have become, it's almost like people are starting to realize now the value in the reseller market. Like before, it was a thing that people were doing for like extra income, and I have 2 of these, I'm gonna sell this for double the price or whatever. But now it's really like becoming investment, and people are really making it a business. So, yeah.
It's almost like that we talk about the community and the culture and how they go hand in hand. And I think you really hit the nail on the head there, that is like almost the new sneaker community, where it is those relationships. And one of the things is, that's why we have our show, is to help champion those smaller retailers and resellers. Like Sinners Love Sneakers, we had Dolly on, and Chad and Adina from Another Lane. I mean, that's what we want to see. And that's what a real plug is, right? Is not just a platform that you can buy them on like StockX or GOAT. And don't get me wrong, sometimes that's where the best deals are too. And I've sold sneakers on those platforms as well. But if there's a way to tap into someone local or a small business, someone who's an actual human instead of a machine,
right,
that's always the way to go. So I like that you talk a lot about that.
No, 100%. And I think now with the sneaker course, I know I'm jumping the gun. Wait, I won't jump the gun. Sorry.
No, that's actually perfect. I was going to say, you know, it's a great segue because you do work with Yellowbrick. You work for them, and the sneaker school is something that the Yellowbrick is behind. So talk to us about the genesis of that project and your role in that, and why you think it's important for that to exist in the marketplace.
So with Sneaker Essentials and a lot of the courses that we create at Yellowbrick, we basically create a lane for people who want to work in a particular industry. We call them like passion industries. So like the fashion industry, the music industry, sports, or the business of sports, and sneakers specifically, because people always say they want to work in the sneaker industry. And 9 times out of 10, they want to be the designer. I want to be the sneaker designer. I want to create this shoe. I want to have a collab, but they don't know the logistics behind creating a shoe, designing a shoe, all the things that go into a shoe. And sometimes when you get into the course, when people get into the course, they come in with a design mind and they leave with like a marketing. Okay, you know what? I want to write the marketing plan, or I want to be the architect that designs the boutique, or I want to be the person responsible for creating SneakerCon or Complex Con for companies, because, you know, now that we're not, you know, meeting in person, but back then those were things that people could do. So I feel like it creates a lane to kind of give you guidance in how you could potentially navigate the sneaker industry. So let's say design work doesn't work out for you. You could also engineer, you could market, you could do journalism, write about the shoe, maybe do research on the shoe, maybe be a consultant for people looking to open a boutique. Like, you know, hey, I want to open a sneaker store, and you kind of walk them through the process. These are all different jobs that could exist in the sneaker field. So the course was designed to give people that foundation. So by the end, they can say, okay, you know what? I want to do this. And then it's a more effective career path versus what a lot of us did. We went to school and we were like, I want to be this. And by the time you're in like sophomore year, you're like, I don't want to be that. And now you figure out like, shit, what am I going to do? And I changed my major like 4 times, 5 times. And still my degree is, I was supposed to be a translator at the UN. I'm not doing that. But, you know, it's so much better when you have an idea and you have something that can help you walk the next steps. So, you know, sneakers has done that for a lot of people. Some people came in and, you know, they went off to school for a bigger degree in sneaker design or even fashion. They switched up. Some went for business marketing. Some went out and got jobs at like Nike and GOAT, and they work at New Balance. And some people are also, too, another thing is some people already have jobs in these industries. Mm-hmm. They want to kind of level up what they know in a different part of the industry.
Shouts to Sierra, level up.
So that's another thing. Leveling up, you know, your skill can help you get a promotion, potentially move on to another brand and get a job. All of those things are important so that you don't stay stagnant in your career.
I love that, you know, and we had Jason Negron on last week, who is Nick's MC and does a lot of different things. And I mentor young kids often who say things like, I want to play football, I want to be in the NBA. And I'm like, yo, man, and I don't like to kill hopes and dreams. That's not what I do. Mm-hmm. But I'm always like, okay, but realistically, the chances of you doing X, highly unlikely. However, that whole industry is massive and it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. There are hundreds of other jobs you could have that maybe, what about this? What about that? And I love what you're doing with the sneaker course because it's just about knowledge and knowing. Think back to when we were in college. If we knew now what we knew then, shit, would have done things a whole lot differently, right? Like
money I would have saved, time I would have saved, sleepless nights I wouldn't have had trying to study for some final. Like, it just would have been so much more, I guess. There would have been more clarity in how I wanted to take my next career steps. Whereas me trying to do, I'm going to be a lawyer out the gate because I knew my mom wanted me to be that, and my dad was like, "Oh, lawyer, that's great." Meanwhile, I was like, I don't want to do that. Looking at like what you have to do that, and I was like, sure, okay, fine. And then I started doing it, and I was like, ew, this is boring. And then I was like, now what am I going to do? And then that's when I started feeling around. But now you're a sophomore in college. You have the summer because you have to register for classes in August, and you have to like crash course into, geez, what am I going to do? What am I supposed to do? And then I know you mentioned sports. Everyone is like, I'm playing ball. I taught for 10 years, and all of my middle school boys were going to play in the NBA. And I said, first of all, so let's talk about this, like, for real. And we would have very heart-to-heart conversations, like real talk. And so I was like, first of all, what do you think the odds of you? I'm like, you don't even want to do your homework right now. So how do you think your work ethic here in the classroom translates into an MBA career? I said, because you have to be at practice. You got to study plays. You have to study. Yes, you have to study play. I'm like, you have a big book. You know, I'm telling them most stuff. I don't know if NBA uses books, but I know NFL.
No, there's plays for sure. Tamika, your camera went off.
We want to see your beautiful face.
What happened?
It could be, and this is the joys of. There you go. Back. She's back. No,
sorry.
But
home, everybody.
The joys of recording remotely. But
yeah.
I
put my hand down and I touch. Let me move this.
That wireless keyboard does it.
Look out to the conversation.
But you're right, though, right? It's like, hey, okay, that's the glamour position, right? I'm gonna be on court with okay, you know how hard these dudes work? I tell kids all the time, hey man, there's 450 players in the NBA. 450. Do you know how good at basketball you have to be in the NBA? And mind you, there ain't 450 jobs available every year. At most, there's maybe 30. Like, you have to be excellent, like beyond excellent at basketball. So probably not going to happen. However, you play ball now. Take it as far as it will allow you to go, but have a parallel track in mind. All right, I want to work in the business. Cool. Learn about the business side of it while you're going in there. Hey, I'm a player. I can do X, Y, and Z. Learn about the ins and outs of operations and whatever, so you can keep your passion going, which is the sport, and work inside of it and still be around the game that you love. Like, it's knowing the passion, and we talked about this with Jason, and I know Gabby knows this, understanding and self-awareness. Know what you're good at and figure out, okay, how can I do that thing in this thing that I love?
Right.
But I think to your point also, a lot of people don't realize how many different options there are, right? Like, or what their passion is. And we talked about this, and I say to people, because I've had a lot of people ask me, because I've transitioned from the beauty industry into sports and more into sneakers and lifestyle. And the biggest piece of advice I say is, if you're not sure what your passion is, what do you spend your time doing when you're not getting paid? What are you reading? What are you consuming? What are you watching? What are you collecting? Where are you going? And then you'll start to see trends, and then do your research, figure out how you can make that a job. I mean, and what I love about the Sneakers Essential program personally is that the average person doesn't know how many different avenues you can go into when it comes to the industry. They're like, oh, well, I love sneakers, but you know, if I'm not a designer, how can I work into it? Well, there's production, there's finance, there's a legal team at all of these companies. So if you have a certain skill set, to your point, Jarod and Tamika, that, you know, I'm really good at this. I've worked in PR and communications. So maybe I can find those transferable skills and see how I can apply it. And I love the way that the Sneaker Essentials program is set up, because not only do you get to hone in on the skills that you already have, but you get to explore ones that you might not have known that you have, and maybe find something new that could be even better. So do you find that happens with a lot of people, that they come in for one thing and really shift courses?
I feel like a lot of people come in with the design. I'm going to be a sneaker designer and I'm going to have a collab with their DJ Clark Kent and Nike and all this like big talk, right? And then by the time they finish, it's like, wow, I really want to know more about the marketing. Like they get excited about that because now you have to think about you're the person responsible for basically selling the shoe and making the shoe attractive and creating the commercials. And so there's a whole, plethora of jobs in that area. So people are usually fascinated by the marketing piece. And even the retail is kind of interesting too, because you would think that like people are like, oh, I don't want to work in Foot Locker. But when you think about Foot Locker, it's management, especially after you take a course. It's not just like sales and stock. There's management, there's corporate. There's a lot of different things that you can do outside of just selling a shoe or trying to design a shoe. So a lot of times it's eye-opening to people to know how many other jobs besides designing are available, because now they have a little bit more motivation to keep pushing and get the job that they want in the sneaker industry.
And I know that you guys have a Facebook page too for the program, which I think is great. Tell us a little bit more about that and how that plays into the community. Even just at first glance, to me, it's so collaborative. Everyone's really vocal. Tell us more about that.
So that's actually a closed Facebook group for the students. So when you enroll in the course, you get access to the Facebook group. And within the Facebook group, there are a variety of different people from all over the world doing different things in the sneaker industry. Sometimes people are talking about the assignment and what they had to do and asking people to share like what they did on their assignment, to them talking about, I'm trying to think, I didn't go on, I was on earlier this morning, but I'm pretty sure by now they're talking about Curbito going to Reebok. I'm sure that's a conversation by now too. And like those things happening and having those conversations with people who are, taking a similar course as you, it creates a very cool community. And then outside of the group, like if I have a Facebook, they'll come follow me on Facebook, or a lot of them follow me on Facebook, like on my personal page. I'm like, who is this person? I'm like, oh, from the sneaker course. They'll find you on LinkedIn. They find you everywhere. And I'm just like, who? And I'm like, I can't make myself private because, so, I mean, I don't mind. It's really a cool way for you to it's like almost you're actually in school.
Yeah.
And so you have a little school community and you can talk to the people in your class, and some people are ahead in the program and maybe some of them don't like the fact that they have to create a sneaker con booth or like a video, and now they do like grids on Instagram and all kind of different ways, like an Insta story, now it's like a reel. So there's different ways that, even though the program was designed when it was, it still can be carried into what's happening now. So now if I were a student and I'm getting ready to do my final project, I'm definitely on Reels trying to do an unboxing, like something, out of the box kind of thing.
That's awesome. If people want to find out about the course, where can they go to get information on it?
So Yellowbrick.co is the main page that has all the programs from sneakers, music, sports, which I was just going to tell you, you said that you mentor. We do have I helped redo the sports program. So that's one of the programs that I know like the back of my hand.
Oh.
And I was super interested because I too learned as I moved through it. I was like, wait a minute, am I in the wrong field? Because there's advertising. There's so many different avenues in the business of sports.
So many.
Not sports like in the U.S., sports worldwide that I didn't know. And I was like, wait a second, I have to wait. And I'll be asking questions like we were doing curriculum with the professors. And I'm like, wait a minute. So, and like asking them questions and they were laughing and they were like, you're really interested in sports. I was like, yeah. So as a man, it's different when you're looking at it from an educational perspective. Yep. So if you go to yellowbrick.co, you can see all the programs. Sneakers, I believe, is like number 2. And you can see there's like a trailer video that's kind of showing you who's in the course, what they talk about in the course. And then you can just email and get information on how to apply. And then once you apply, they'll let you know if you are are in or not, and then you go from there.
Awesome. Well, I know that you and Gabby have a secret plan to take over the world with a particular pair of footwear. So we're gonna talk about that when we get back in America's #1 segment, Shoe and Tell. So stay tuned. Peace. What's up, guys? We are back with our girl, Lady Blogga. So I know you and Gabby think you're taking over the world of footwear with some slide collaboration you have going on. So yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all finish. Shouts to something we're gonna see what I did there. You see? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all finish and talk about that before we get into Shoe and Tell.
So we were having a conversation about the uncomfortableness of a particular slide. Now, just for clarification, I saw the slide and I was like, oh my gosh, those are so cute. Because I know they look bad. I know they look hideous. I'm aware. But to me, I could see them with like denim or a skirt or a pair of shorts. Like, I could totally see it with painted toenails, etc. So that was my MO, right? Mm-hmm. So I tell the plug, I'm like, yeah, can you get these? Yeah, what color, what size? Excited, get them, shift them straight to the crib, open the box. And I was like, And then I was like, okay. So then I put them on and I was like,
oh no. Oh.
You could use it to hammer in a nail in a wall, right? Because they don't move.
Look.
Yep.
First of all,
is someone at the door?
Can we talk about this?
Listen.
Why no give in the sole of this? Like, I feel like if it's a slide, it needs to be comfortable.
Yep. Yes. Lots of give. It should have lots of give.
There's no give here. There's no give here. Yeah, we don't have that over here.
Nah.
We ain't got that.
Well, I mean, should we talk about the person who designed that slide? I mean,
yay or nay?
These are definitely nay from yay.
I'm glad you were here for that because Jarod is always waiting for me to throw in some fun at some point.
These are cute for a fit. They really are not comfortable. Like if you plan on being out and walking somewhere or doing a few different things, no, you take these out when you get to like the restaurant to have dinner, and then you walk in the restaurant because you can't bang your foot. So you're literally like flat. You're walking like this.
Like, she's here.
She's here. We hear her coming.
But you can't like. I feel like when you wear slides, there's like a sound or like a motion that your foot makes almost, right? Mm-hmm. Not in these.
You know, listen. Ye has had some swings and misses with certain pieces of footwear lately. And that slide, we out on that. Well, hopefully you and Gabby's collab slide would be a lot better than that. A lot more give, you know.
And it wasn't until I think we had to be more comfortable at home, even for existing slides. And, you know, you have running slides. Like I have the typical Adidas Velcro slide. You know, I have all those kind of things. And it wasn't until I had to wear them a lot more often than I did before that I hated those nubbly things that are in the sole. I was like, why?
Yeah, no, I can't. Nope. Those are Jarod's favorite too.
Yeah, so for the Adidas, I love those on the Adidas. They're fine. My Nike slides have like, I'm wearing them right now. You know, with these bad boys, these are straight up. I'm good with these, man. I rock these all day.
Those look different. Those look super comfortable.
They are quite comfortable. Got a lot of give to them.
See?
Yeah, man.
None of the pricklies either. I'm with you on that one.
None of the pricklies.
That's what I call them. That's the technical term.
He started chewing them out. So now there's like maybe 50 missing. And now it's like the ones towards the back of the heel are gone. So now it feels even more weird. And I'm like, no, this is no.
Hey, you know, we talked about this earlier. Sometimes you got to just take an L on some things, right? All right, cool. That's an L. We're good.
You're going to change the slide game.
Yep, we're going to channel that cloud foam technology. You know, it's going to be comfortable, no massagers. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's definitely since we started being home, and that's what we talked about in our live. We ended up going an extra hour in the brainstorming process of these slides. So I don't know. I think that seeing that there are some collaborations, like the Extra Butter Adidas slides, those were pretty cool. They had a little bit of a higher price point. there's a demand for it. I'm surprised we're not seeing more. I feel like we're seeing more Crocs collaborations these days, which is a Croc of
Than we are
with
Crocs
slides.
aren't my jam.
So,
No.
not mine either, but like respect to those who do. But like, why did Bad Bunny not do a slide? Why did he do a Croc?
He probably should have done a clock.
It out of my head. I don't
What? Oh, man.
Ate my bag.
She's like, nah, we ain't rocking with that. Listen, you know what we actually are here for? We're here for heat. So it's time for shoe and tell, and I know, because Tamika, as she said, is a sneaker connoisseur. So I know she got some heat she wants to show off. So we're gonna let her go and tell us about some of the shoes she got.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So these were, well, I'm missing one. I couldn't get all three.
Oh, I know what they are.
Yes. Air Max in the house.
Now, just for reference, I am a fan of camo. Anything camo. Everything I have is pretty much camo.
Interesting.
I have bags. I have camo backpacks, camo crew necks, jackets, notebooks.
You like camo?
Socks. Yeah. So in these, the first one I missed. I was on a Zoom call, I think. And I was wild annoyed. So I was like this. And they're like, are you okay? I was like, I'm fine. Two, I didn't even, like, I just said, I said, if you get all three, great. But so far, we only got two.
Okay.
I like them.
Which one's your favorite colorway?
No, I don't know.
She's like, nah, duck camo.
That's okay. The orange is fire.
So, yeah. Then, these are old. But a sneaker school student actually named this shoe as her grail.
Oh.
And I wore it. Like, I wear my shoes. And there's nothing collector here. Like, I have shoes I've never worn, but it's just because I didn't.
All right. So you're a livestock, not a dead stock.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna wear them. People are like, you're wearing them. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? You know how much I paid for these? What am I supposed to do with them? The leather was about to crack, and then what are you supposed to do with them? Like, we're wearing them.
Wear them.
So I had these on at Complex Con, and so many people were like, the Melody Asani.
Oh.
I wear them, and it's the original pump.
Oh.
Yo, the pumps?
Snug around the ankle.
Yo, those joints, hold those up again, man. Like, we talked about these, Gabby, right? And again, how I was not getting no pumps. I had to get those bootleg LA Gear knockoff versions. Because my mom was like, we ain't spending no $100 on no damn sneakers. We are not getting that.
That was my mom, too. She was like,
no, there'll be none of that.
Colorway of those, though. Oh, with the snake, with the color tops.
It had the padlock.
Yep.
I think one of my kids has now stolen the pad. They took the padlock off the shoe.
They stole the
When you have children, they start disrespecting your
See how they do? They start, you see?
You see the padlock in like the container with the other small toys, and you're like, excuse me. It's not a toy.
See how kids are? Disrespectful.
Oh, this one.
Oh.
You saw it.
I didn't see it yet. I didn't see it yet.
Trying to get closer.
So this is the one. Remember when I said I want those? This is the one that I was really like, I need this one. I need this one. And Babe was like, I got you. Don't worry. And he went to Jersey. He went Packer. I think he went to Packer in New Jersey and got them. So I was like,
yeah. Oh.
They're so pretty.
See, and listen, you are holding true. See, I want to be clear about something, right? She's shown us four technically. 3 of the 4 camo. Like woman said, she likes camo.
right? See the paddle. Here, let me keep with the theme. Hold on.
Also, different brands.
Different brands, yes.
That's the one thing that I noticed.
Yes, different brands.
So this one was actually a birthday gift this year. And what's so funny is they came with the tag, right? Because where he got them from. And so I asked my son, I was like, do I leave the tag on or take it off? So one son, who's 19, and obviously a little younger, he's like, nah, keep the tag. The other one, who's going to be 22, he was like, you are an adult. Take that tag off your shoe. And I was like, okay. Took it off. But
yeah. Yo, that is some old school right there. Like, I mean, many consider that one of the OG sneakers. Mm-hmm. Right? Little Converse.
I feel like the black, the navy. I never liked the white.
Okay.
Because I feel like once it gets dirty, that's you cannot clean.
That's Gabby's position.
Yep, exactly. It's frustrating, and then it looks janky, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the white I don't really do, but black, navy, and this one, my favorite. Little black dress.
Oh, anything.
Okay, I see you.
Little leather leggings, little off the shoulder top, a bomber.
So I'm not a Jordan person.
That's all right.
I think ones and fours. Okay. They did get the purple ones this time around.
Okay.
But still, it's not my thing. But and the color. Notice the color.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Celtics fan.
Oh.
Don't.
Sorry for your loss.
Yes. Yes.
I'm being serious. No disrespect. My team wasn't even invited to the bubble, so you're way ahead of me.
I mean, that's your own fault for liking the janky Knicks.
I mean, my dad,
I'm loyal.
And even like when last year he was like, the Knicks are going to go to. I said they're not going anywhere. Full stop.
No, full stop. Nowhere. They're going nowhere.
I'm making you to relax. I said no.
The hype was there.
See, Gabby, you know what'll help you out though, and make your life just much more comfortable.
Why don't you tell me, Jarod?
If you just stop rooting for the Knicks, because then all that heartache and pain you feel, you won't feel it no more. You know what? It'll be playoff time. You'll be like, you know what? I feel great because I got no problems.
Well, remember when we were talking about working in a field that you're passionate about? I love the Knicks so much that I had to work for them. So never going to happen. I am loyal. I would love to see a championship in my lifetime. I will stand on my soapbox on the most interesting segment in the world.
Probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen.
I'm younger than a certain owner of the team, so I don't know. I think we might be able to age ourselves out of that and have a change of the guard at some point.
You might, in that regard, you might be okay then. It might.
I mean, you might be 100 when it happens, but you know.
And no matter who you like, basketball is better when the Knicks are good. There's something about the Garden. Teams want to play against the Knicks.
That's true. I'll give you that.
It's an energy that shifts the league, and I don't know what happened in the cosmic NBA world that what goes down must come up, right? That's what they say.
Here's what I will say.
As long as it's not tied to somebody's ankle and it's like a heavy boulder. Yeah.
Here's what I'll say about that. There is something to be said, I would say, for the Knicks being good for the casual fan, but as someone who covers the league and who's been a fan league for a long time, the Knicks have not been good since I was a child, and guess what? My fandom of the NBA and recovering has not waned one bit. So, just going to put that out there.
For as long as my dad tried to make me a Knicks fan, I've always been like, no, some other team. I was a Bulls fan for a while, obviously.
Of course, Jordan.
And I became a Celtics fan.
See?
That was right around the time of, I want to
Paul
say...
Pierce, Kevin Garnett generation.
I was going to say Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Jesus is a biblical name.
Even though... that wasn't it, but I wanted to say after that. And then too, I went to school up north, and I used to hang out in a Boston bar.
Oh, so there you go.
All right, those are good reasons.
All the Boston games were always played, so that's how I became a Patriots fan, even though the Giants used to work out on my campus.
Patriots fan.
Well, I mean, look, Patriots fan is the thing. I mean, if you're a Giants fan, you Patriots don't bother you. Beat them in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, okay. See, now you're going to start. See?
I mean, I agree. I just think that the Patriots somehow find a way to get everybody. I know we don't normally talk football here, but...
Except the Giants.
Find a way to get players. I don't understand.
She's like, I'm out. I'm done with you.
Illusion. But how do you feel about Cam Newton on the Patriots, though? I have to ask.
Killer Cam!
So I am excited that he did. I'm excited that they brought him to the team. Okay. And I feel like regardless of... Okay, not regardless... Because I know Belichick is very...
Belichick?
interesting coaching habits and methods. And while we don't know the whole story, looking at it from the outside, I feel like he can make a champion. At what expense, I'm not sure. Cam always had the talent and the skill, and I think he just really did not have the best coaching staff, and they didn't utilize him the way they should have. So
100%.
It's going to be interesting to see how he performs with Belichick and with the rest of the team. And I mean, he looks like he's comfortable, like getting a little rhythm. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited to see like what he's going to do.
Shouts to Killer Cam.
Yeah.
Now I'm here for the Cam Newton era in the Patriots. I am. I think.
Yeah, I'm happy to see it.
It's a nice changing of the guards, and shout to Tom Brady still doing his thing at 105 years old down in Tampa Bay.
He's trying to do it. He looked like he's having a hard time there. And you know, he can't flex his muscle like he did in New England because these dudes are new.
That's right.
You know, they're not like people that he played with. So
exactly.
They're like, yeah, son, we not.
We know. This ain't New England, my guy. That's not how we do it down here.
You're like, nah, we're not doing that here. So. We gotta win this game, and he's like, they're like, yeah, that shit, son. I'll be
at the strip club down the street afterwards.
Yeah, come on, son, we not.
Yo,
so I'm trying to figure out the rationale behind that move and him bringing Gronk, because I'm like, if Gronk was gonna return for a year, why wouldn't you not just go to New England? But then I was like, there must have been some beef, like something was happening.
There's, the tell-all story is going to come out about really how the Belichick-Brady relationship really was going down. Because Kraft, the owner, Brady's his guy, and Belichick is as much a pragmatist and a ruthless pragmatist as anybody who exists. His point is, you can't help me win. I don't give a damn who you are.
Right, you gotta get the F up out of here. I can see them having that conversation. He's probably like, you're 40, whatever.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
I don't need you to win a championship, Tom Brady. I'm Bill Belichick. I don't even need sleeves to wear a sweatshirt.
Exactly.
I'm waiting for the 30 for 30 to come out.
Oh, yeah.
My popcorn is already ready.
It's going to be so good.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, shouts to KNS, which we generally talk about basketball on this show. Look at us flexing our football knowledge on here.
That's right.
And with another girl, no less.
You see? Listen. See that, people? Ladies know sports. Keep that in mind.
We just don't look at the uniform.
Tamika, where can the people find you?
So I'm on Instagram at Lady Blogga, Twitter too at Lady Blogga, Facebook at Lady Blogga, and where else? I'm on Discord, but I'm in a student group. I'm kind of feeling Discord around a little bit. I'm new. That's a new territory for me. So I'm now just finding different chats and conversations going on. So, but I'm Lady Blogga on Discord too.
All right.
We like it, keeping it consistent.
We see you out there.
That was an early branding tactic. So you figure I started writing in 2010, and I started writing because of sports and music. Like I used to always argue with the guys about sports and music. So that was my segue into freelance writing and marketing, etc. So yeah, I still have that fire in me a little bit. Not so much, but
I love it. I love it. We really appreciate you joining us. This was an awesome conversation. I know.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, this was blast.
I know our audience is going to love it. Guys, you know where to find us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, SoundCloud. Man, we're everywhere. Kicks and Shit Show, Instagram, Twitter. You see our handles right underneath you, right below, right there. Yep, see, point right there.
Right over there.
We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.
Bye.
Peace.